So we've got tons of characters inside Marvel Rivals at the moment, and a lot of them are pretty fun, but let's be honest, out of all the heroes that we have in this game, only 4 of them are actually villains, and that is kind of where I think we should kind of be steering the game more towards. Adding a few more villains into this game would make this game a little bit more fun and just a bit different and interesting, especially when it comes to the stories that we can bring in and also the voice lines as well. I think that makes it even cooler. And I think we've got tons of heroes lined up as well. We've got Gambit and Rogue coming for probably season 5. And I think we should really be looking into the roster of villains we have, because not only is there quite a lot of them that we haven't actually made use of yet, there's a lot of them that are really interesting and that can have really good kits as well. And this video is going to go over 8 villains that I personally want to see inside Marvel Rivals. Let's start off with Dr. Octopus being one of Spider-Man's main villains. Not the best one, and we'll get on into that one later on in this video, but the fact that Dr. Octopus is not already in this game, especially because I think he could fit almost every role in this game as well, whether it's Vanguard, DPS, or Strategist. I think he could fit in all of the categories, and you can either use the tentacles to heal teammates up, and that you can heal up multiple teammates, or you can use the tentacles to kind of block as a shield, or you can just use it to deal damage. I think which way they take the approach of Dr. Octopus, I think is still going to be a really solid hero, fun to play, and quite a bit different to what we have in the game right now. We don't have any heroes that have got like multiple arms and can maybe climb on walls as well, and maybe has a lot of utility inside his kit. Even if he is going to be a Vanguard, he could be more of like a strategist style Vanguard hero, which I actually think will be really cool in terms of the overall meta of this game as well. So I think he's got the most adaptability when it comes to the rest of this list that we're going to get into as well, because he just kind of fits almost every single role. Maybe he could be like a hybrid between every single role as well, and just they can put him in maybe like the Vanguard category, but you can do a bit of everything. That would be pretty cool too. So again, like I said, I'm not really too sure exactly how they'd play him out, but like I said, he's got so much potential there to actually be a really fun hero to play, not to mention he's super popular as well. Next up, we've got Juggernaut. Now when it comes to Juggernaut, we know that we need the voice line in the game. That's the first thing, because if we don't get the voice line, it's going to be pretty upsetting, let's be honest. Now obviously they might need to censor it because of the age demographic of Marvel Rivals, the video game, but as long as we get it to some extent, then I'm happy about that. Then when it comes to Juggernaut's kit, now I think he would have been quite similar to the way they played the Thing in this game, because he's able to kind of dash towards enemies, knocking them out of place. So they will need to adjust his kit slightly to kind of not do exactly the same thing, and he would have been more of a brawling style hero as well, but I feel like even this way they can maybe make him that he can slam the ground and maybe make the ground break between him and the enemy, and then that deals damage to them, so that might be pretty cool. You can have more kind of CC abilities as well, which I think Thing already has, but he can kind of play off the back of that a little bit too. And overall, he's obviously going to be a Vanguard for the most part, and maybe he could just tank tons of damage to his head, kind of similar to Jeff the Shark, because he's got the helmet on and he just takes a lot less headshot damage. I think that'd be pretty cool. So overall, there's a couple of different things they could add to Juggernaut. He's a pretty basic character for the most part. He's just got like super insane strength and durability, which is obviously his main thing, but they can play around with that to some extent. They've done that already with a lot of the heroes in the game, so we can kind of see him added in as another Vanguard, but maybe slightly different to what we already have in terms of brawling heroes. There's a lot of brawlers in the game too, and he'd probably be one of the best. Next one is one that I was never really excited for until I started watching the Daredevil show, and that is Bullseye. Now we already have Punisher, we already have Daredevil, so can we not just get Bullseye in the game as well? I think that'd be insanely cool to get Bullseye added in, because not only is he a villain to Daredevil, but people really like this hero a lot now, especially with the way the Daredevil show went and how they portrayed the character slightly differently to maybe previous movies or comic books. So overall, I think he's just really fun, cool, and people expect him to kind of be that hybrid between a villain and a hero, so he's kind of like that anti-hero style of character, which I think is just really cool as well. And when it comes to his kit, I mean, there's so many good examples of him being a marksman style character, long range. We don't have really many of them in the game right now. We've got Hawkeye, we've got Black Widow, but that's about it realistically. You could be throwing knives across the map with hit scan attacks, or you can even have a lock-on attack, which I think I've seen a lot of comments on Reddit about as well, whereas basically he never misses, which is actually really cool. idea. Instead of it being kind of similar to Cloak and Dagger where it locks on at close range, it can actually be a lock-on effect at long range. So it's actually like Dagger's attack essentially, where she can lock on and deal damage at range, but instead he does a lot more damage, of course. And I think that would be insanely cool to be added into the game, because I think that could be a really good counter to flying heroes and also to a lot of the heroes that we have in the game, like Daredevil as well, where you don't really need to aim too well to use them. And I think that would make him a bit more fun to play for a lot of beginning heroes or players that are coming into the game. And in general, I just think he's just a really cool concept, and there's a lot they can actually do with him, so I think he's just really fun. Not to mention, they've obviously done a really good job on Daredevil too as a dive hero, so this could be almost like an exact counter and opposite style of hero. Next up, we have an obvious one, and that is Doctor Doom. Now, Doctor Doom is already in the game in terms of a character model, and he's obviously the main villain for the whole entire Marvel Rivals lore that's going on, essentially. And there's a 2099 version of him and then a standard version of him. But overall, when it comes to character design, he just looks insane. I think he's got tons of potential when it comes to hero costumes and things. He can also fit almost every single role as well, because his superpowers are kind of very varied in what he can actually do. And I hope whatever category they decide to put him in when they do add him to the game, which I think they will at some point, and I just hope that they do kind of make each one of his abilities very unique to kind of showcase how good he is at pretty much everything, which is obviously what he's good at. And I think he's just super cool, and he's super strong as well, which makes him really good. So it depends on where they want to place him, but overall I think he's just a really solid hero, and I would like to see him added in the near future, hopefully, which is the kind of main issue, because I don't really know how long until they will add in Doctor Doom or even a villain like this into the game. Next up, we've got Sabretooth, and Sabretooth is a character that I just find so cool, and I really hope to get added into this game at some point. Now, I'd like him to be a dive tank. I think that's the best way to actually make this hero fun, because he can have a rage meter kind of similar to Wolverine, but you can also have some kind of extra attacks kind of similar to Black Panther. He'd be able to run on walls. He doesn't have nearly as fast mobility, but he's able to get in and out of fights as a Vanguard with a little bit extra HP, but similar to what we have with Venom, for example. I think that's probably the best comparison there. And overall, I just think Sabretooth has insanely cool potential to be a cool hero with cool skins and just a lot of really cool abilities as well. And I just think he can be that dive tank that some people are looking for, especially if you play a lot of BP right now and you just feel like there's not enough HP. I think Sabretooth could be that character to some extent. Maybe the charge meter allows him to do more damage, kind of similar to what Emma has. That would be absolutely insane for this game. So like I said, Sabretooth, tons of potential, really cool character just in general in terms of storylines with Wolverine and things like that as well. So I'd like to see Sabretooth in the game. Next up, we have the main villain himself, right? The one that we're all waiting for, the one that we all want to play, and that is Thanos. Now, somehow we managed to get him in Fortnite before we got him in Marvel Rivals, but it doesn't really matter. We want to get Thanos in the game. Now, how are we going to get Thanos in the game is the question, whether we're going to get the Infinity Stones version or if we're going to get the Titan version. It doesn't really matter to me personally, but I just think, and I really hope, that he gets added into this game in general, because I just want to feel what it's like to play as Thanos, man. I think that's what everyone's wanting to do. Hopefully at launch he's a little bit broken, and then they dial him back later on after we've all got our hands on him to play him for a little bit, and he is a little bit OP, because that would just make him so fun, just for a while anyway, for like maybe the first week, and then they can dial it all back. But when it comes to Thanos, man, I just hopefully he's just in the game. I've got nothing else really to say on this hero. We all know he's going to be a Vanguard. We all know he's going to be pretty good. And hopefully they just add him with the Infinity Stones first for the first week, make him completely broken for a bit, and then dial him back later, take the Infinity Stones off of him. That'll be cool, man. That is all I can say for Thanos, but we need this guy at some point in the game. Then we've got probably the one that I kind of think is going to be a cool addition into this game, and that's Green Goblin. Now, we already have a Flying Vanguard. Next up, we've got a really cool hero, and probably one of the ones I find the most interesting, and that is the Green Goblin. Now, the Green Goblin is the Spider-Man villain that we all want to see. Let's be honest, he's the most popular one other than Venom. And I think the Green Goblin can be just a super cool idea, right? I think as a strategist, he almost works the best. He can have a kind of hoverboard mechanic, kind of similar to Star-Lord, where he can fly around for a short period of time, and then most of the time he's on the ground, right? I think that would be really cool for him. The pumpkin bombs can be something that damages enemies but heals up teammates. I think that'd be such a cool idea as well. And overall, the Green Goblin can just add a bit more diversity to the strategist category, and I think that's where they actually should put him. I know it means that we don't get another duelist in this game, but let's be honest, do we need another duelist, and do we need it to be another really cool character? Not really, right? So let's try and kind of make some of the other categories in this game a bit more interesting, and the Green Goblin is one of the coolest villains inside Marvel, so why not add him in there, right? And I think that's the best way to play this hero. Now, like I said, you can fly around for a bit, be on the ground for a bit, deal some damage and heal some teammates, and you can also add some kind of maybe like anti-healing effects or something like that that's a bit different that we've not already seen in the game before. I think that'd be pretty cool. But again, overall, they could play around with this hero and kind of put him in different categories again, similar to what we had with Doctor Doom and Dr. Octopus. Both of those heroes kind of could go across categories, and I think Green Goblin is a similar idea to that as well. Lastly, we've got another Spider-Man villain, believe it or not, and that is Carnage. Now, when it comes to Carnage, I actually think we just need him in the game, and they might add him in later down the line because we already have Venom, and Venom and Carnage are quite similar. But they can add him in as a DPS hero instead of him being a Vanguard, which I think would probably be the better position to put him in. And he could just deal tons of damage, right? And maybe have that reduced healing effect that Blade has as well whilst he's dealing damage. I think that'd be so cool. I think Carnage would be the most DPS-like out of all the ones we've listed, other than maybe Bullseye. And I think that's where he fits in the best, right? But he's such a cool villain that I feel like we have to get him in the game at some point. Now, like I said, maybe later on down the line, once they start running out of better ideas, but this is one that I would like to see anyway. And this list was all built up of villains that I personally like and would like to see added into Marvel Rivals. So there we have it. That is our list of villains. Let me know what your list of your favorite villains are that you'd like to see if they're different to this one, and leave them in the comments below. Also subscribe to the channel as we'll be making tons more Marvel Rivals content once we get the Season 5 drop as well. Now, there's not really much going on in Rivals right now other than the zombie event, which we've covered quite extensively. But like I said, we'll be making more content in the future. If you enjoyed, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching.